Greetings and welcome to Sealed Deck Follies. I am your host, Whiskers Darnielle. I know I told you they would be gone by the next time you saw me, but that was before the unprecedented outcry from the massive saying, let's see the whole sealed deck, man. Let's make it happen. I remain skeptical that many people will make it to the end of breaking open 6-packs and building a deck, but we'll see. But thank you all for the response. I still don't know how I'm going to do part 2 of this. Part 1 is going to be me sitting here breaking open 6-packs. I picked all ones with hounds on the front. Graciously sent to me by Wizards of the Coast. Thank you for these booster packs. And then somehow I'm going to try and rig up the camera above my completely awesome Sebastian McKinnon playmat, which when I got it at a Star City Games event, I was like, wait, really? Because I think Sebastian McKinnon is just an artist of such power. I love everything he does. And yeah, I mean, look at that, man. Seriously, that guy rules. And that's why my videos are too long, because I get distracted talking about stuff I like. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to be breaking open the cards. I'm going to try and, I don't like to cheat the commons out of their play. You see people breaking open packs and they say, well, here's my rare and here's the uncommons, and they just, they take plummet and diss plummet by saying nothing about it. Well, now I'm probably never going to put plummet in any place but the sideboard of a draft deck, but still, it's like, I like the commons. I like them. And this is why, as I have said before, you are going to beat me when you play me at Magic, because I am way more interested in stuff that is not interesting to people who want to win. But I care less about winning than I do about having fun and building decks that entertain me. I think in some legendary formulation that makes, I forget, the Timmy and Spike thing, which I always dislike the sort of you're one of these 3 or 2 or whatever. It's like, well, that's not how I think of things. All right, I'm going to take off my glasses because they're for distance, and we're going to check out Transcendent Envoy, who is a griffin that flies 1 and a white. Aura spells cost you 1 less to cast, 1 color. So that's it. And see, this is why it just takes me a long time to do this. That's not a bad common in this set. There's a lot of auras. There's a lot, and you play them because there's a lot of stuff that triggers when an enchantment enters the battlefield. So that's pretty good in my book, and it flies for 2. It's nice to get a flyer out early. So I gotta say the most success I've been having with this set has been with green-white. So I'd be looking at that. I'd be looking too hard at that for pack 1, card 1. And then really even have to rush through this. I can't bear the idea of talking to the camera for 3 hours going, well look, it's... Anyway, Stern Dismissal, control. Return target creature, enchantment, opponent controls to owner's hand. Not great if these creatures and enchantments have enter the battlefield effects, then you just do that again. But good if you need to get some big fella out of the way. Final Flare. Sacrifice a creature, enchantment, deal 5 damage to target creature. That'll get rid of a bunch of people. I mean, only one of a bunch of people, but it'll get somebody out of your way if need be. Glory Bearers. I said I was going to hurry past stuff, so whenever the creature control attacks, it gets +0/+1 until the end of the turn. It's a creature, so that's a static ability. I mean, that's not bad. It minorly buffs the defense on people. I'm not... Things like till the end of the turn stuff, I'm skeptical of the value of those. I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. Nyxborn Marauder, an enchantment creature, a Minotaur. Cetizen Training. I happen to like this because it gives you card draw, which I think of as very important, and it enchants your creature for 1 and gives it trample. That's not bad. I mean, I probably want more than +1 on my creatures, but that's not bad. Captivating Unicorn. Be captivated by this unicorn. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature opponent controls. So again, if we're looking at blue-white, we can get some control going there. Pious Wayfarer. Target creature gets 1/1 till the end of the turn when an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control. It's a human. Warbriar Blessing. I love the look of this card. Who did that? Michael Parisi. Super cool. Enchant creature you control. When Warbriar Blessing enters the battlefield, enchanted creature fights up to one target creature you don't control. I mean, you have to have a good eye on the board state to make that work, or your creature will just die. Arena Trickster, however, I like this guy. It's a common. Again, it's a common. But if you're playing a lot of instants, whenever you cast your first spell during your opponent's turn, he gets a +1 counter, right? So he's a 3/3 for 4, but he'll be a 5/5 by the end of the turn if I'm working things right. Let's see here. Heroes of the Revel is the first uncommon. When he enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red satyr creature that can't block. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Heroes of the Revel, creatures you control get +1/+0 till the end of the turn. As I say, till the end of the turn stuff, I'm always pretty skeptical of it. Inevitable End. It will surprise exactly no one that when I say black uncommon, that's the first one that gets a ooh from me. At the beginning of your, so enchant one of your guys, right? Enchanted creature has, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice, I mean, I'll play the hell out of that card. See, this is why I'm bad at this, because it's like, so I'm only in the middle of the first pack, but I know I want Inevitable End because I desire to see you sacrifice your creatures when you don't want to, and when you didn't put enough enchantment hate in your deck. That's what I want to do. But the only other black card I have so far is this 4/3 Minotaur for 2 and 2 blacks, which does not strike me as the strongest black in common. But right now I also have the Binding of the Titans, a saga. I was very excited to see the sagas come back because I wasn't playing yet when Dominaria came out. So each player puts 3 in their graveyard on the first chapter. If you don't know how sagas work, they are sagas. They have chapters. You put it out for a measly 1 green and 1 of any, right? That's a very cheap cost there. And you get 3 chapters worth of play for that, unless somebody destroys it, like an unkind person. Chapter 1, each player puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Chapter 2, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards for each creature card exile. This way you get 1 life, and then bring 1 creature or land from your graveyard to your hand. It's a little bit of a toss of the dice, but I don't mind it, especially because I do like milling you. That's something I enjoy. Dryad of the Elysian Grove is our rare, and I can play, it's ramp. You can play an additional land on each of your turns. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. Man, if I have 4 of these in a deck, then I can play any color I like. Those 2 greens put us early toward green, but there's 5 hound packs to go. So, I'm looking at the time, so 8 minutes. 8 minutes you're asking these people to listen to you talk. Incendiary Oracle. It's a 2/2 for 2. I can pump it to make it a 3/2 every turn by paying 1 and a red. If a creature dealt damage by Incendiary Oracle would this turn would die, exile it instead. That's good in this set because you got a lot of guys you might want to bring back. You'll notice how I address everyone as my opponent. So, Indomitable Will, a white combat trick. Well, it's not exactly a combat. No, it's not that at all. I mean, it's flash, so it will come out and surprise you, and it will enchant a creature and buff it for +1/+2. I like that a lot because either I'll block and you'll think you get my guy out of the way and you don't, or possibly I'll block and surprise you by murdering your creature. Not bad. Let's see here. Okay. Naiad of the Hidden Coves. As long as it's not your turn, spells cost 1 colorless less to cast. The Underworld Ragehound. Person who titled this card. That's a good card name. Underworld Rage. Get it? Come on, that's so good. It's an elemental hound. You can play it with Risen Reef in your standard deck if you want. It attacks each combat if able. So it's a 3/1 for 2, but as soon as it's able to attack, it can't take 1 damage. Then you can escape it with a 1/1 counter on it, so it would be a 4/2. Escape, for those of you who aren't familiar with the new set, means that once it goes to my graveyard, I can exile 3 other cards from the graveyard and pay 4 mana, 3 and a red, to get it back. So only, and I can keep doing that over and over again. So it just keeps my escaping until you exile it. This is my friend. This is my friend. The Moss Viper. A 1/1 with Death Touch for 1. That's the kind of value for mana I like to see. The Moss Viper is a good friend, a super good turn 1 friend. I like the Moss Viper. And I also like the Fruit of Tizarus. Target player loses 2 life. That's good burn, and I can escape it over and over. 2, 2, 2. Just keep whacking you with the fruit. just keep throwing fruit at you. Fruit that costs you life. So that's pretty great. Return to Nature, very old card, has been around for a while. I don't know what the first set it was in was, but it's been around for a while. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or exile a card from a graveyard. In Theros, this is a good card. You're going to see enchantments in almost every game you play, I think. I could be wrong. As I say, I'm a novice, but I don't mind Return to Nature if I'm building around green. Flummoxed Cyclops, as you can see, he's extraordinarily flummoxed. It's a sad situation for our Cyclops. He has reach, so he can be happy about that, but whenever 2 or more creatures your opponents control attack, he can't block this combat. So that seems complicated to me. Mogus's Favor. Enchant a creature for +2/+1, and if you get that enchantment to the graveyard, I can escape it as much as I like. Dawn Evangel is our first uncommon in this pack. Whenever a creature dies, if an aura you controlled was attached to it, return target creature card with CMC, converted mana cost, 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. If I'm green-white, which as I say is a strong combo in this set, then my Moss Viper is just going to keep coming back and back. You'll see the Moss Viper over and over again, as long as the Dawn Evangel is around. And I have auras. Farika's Spawn. That's beautiful. Vincent Prost did that. Vincent, that's just utterly beautiful. It is a 3/4 for 4. Escapes with 2 1/1 counters on it for 6. When it enters the battlefield this way, each opponent satisfies a non-Gorgon creature. So unless your opponent is playing tribal Gorgons, something I have not seen yet, you're going to get to cost of a creature when Farika's Spawn escapes. Careless Celebrant. I do like creatures that punish you for killing them. What is it? I'll talk about this in therapy or something. I like it when there's a creature, the Footlight Fiend, it dies and it punishes you for harming it. When Careless Celebrant dies, it deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. That's pretty cool. It's a 2/1 for 2. I like that a lot. I also like the Woe Strider. That's my rare here. Enters the battlefield, I create a 0/1 white goat creature token. Sacrifice another creature, scry 1. I do like to scry. Who doesn't? Escape, exile 4 from your graveyard. Escapes for 3 and 2 blocks. It's expensive, but escapes with 2 1/1 counters on it. So 5, 4, pretty for 3 coming out. That's pretty nice. I don't see why you wouldn't be friends with the Woe Strider. But then again, you might also prefer the Blood Aspirant. That's my foil. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, is there a lot of sacrifice in this set? Well, I can do it. Yeah, there's a combo right there. Look at that. We get some Rakdos synergy going there, right? Whenever you sacrifice a creature, scry 1. Whenever you sacrifice a creature, put a counter on this guy. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So we'll think about that when we finished opening the other 4 packs. My land is a mountain. My creature token is not a goat, but a human soldier. Let's get into the third one here. Oh yeah, see now there's a common that I like in this in draft 2, Ichthyomorphosis. Take your big guy, turn him into a fish. That's pretty cool. What if you had enough of things like that you could convert? I mean, you'd need 4 of these. I don't know how else you could do it. Isn't there a enchanted creature becomes the creature type of your choice thing? My goal is to turn your entire deck into fish. Right? That would be cool. So, Rapid Flames, 1 damage to each of up to 3 target creatures who then can't block. I overplay cards like this. I'm always trying to to take blockers out of action, but it's never enough, you know. So I once tried to build a whole deck that the whole idea was to stop all the creatures from blocking, but it was tragic. Glory Bearers again. We have discussed the Glory Bearers. I'll put it next to the other one. Nyxborn Seaguard, 2/5 for 2 and 2 blues. 2/5 is great. That's a big friend and enchantment creature. Forgive me, I've been sick. Temple Thief, 2. Can't be blocked by enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures. In this set, there's a lot of people that can't block the Temple Thief. If I can make the Temple Thief fly, then I like the Temple Thief even better. Skola Grove Dancer, or as I'm calling it, Skola Grave Dancer, and I will always call it that. Whenever a land card is put in your graveyard, you gain 1 life, and then you can mill yourself as a static ability. Seems a little risky to me. It's my second green creature. The Omen of the Dead. I like the Omens. I want to play a 4-color deck with all of them. It's got flash, and it brings my creatures back, right? So if I have black-green, and I have the thing where I put the top card of my library in my graveyard, if I put a creature in there, I can get it back. So that's nice. Nylea's Forerunner has trample, is 5/3 for 5, gives all my other creatures trample. That's pretty... People look scared when that one comes out. They will focus on destroying it. Final Death. Yeah, there's some heavy metal. There's some grindcore stuff for you right there. 5 to exile a creature. Expensive instant, but you might need it. Return to Nature again. That's our second one of those. I do like trying to play multiples when I can. Try and get a little consistency in my deck. Mire Triton. Oh, that's gorgeous. It's Sebastian McKinnon. Of course it is. Look at that. Look at Sebastian McKinnon. You can't, there, try to get it clear. I mean, that's just fantastic. The Mire Triton, Zombie Merfolk, Death Touch, a measly 2 mana for a 2/1 with Death Touch. When it enters the battle, put the top 2 cards of your library in your graveyard and gain 2 life. This is a great card. It costs almost nothing to get out there. Alseid of Life's Bounty, a 1 mana enchantment creature, a nymph with lifelink, 1/1, static ability, pay 1 of any color, and sacrifice this creature. Target creature enchantment you control gains protection from the color of your choice until the end of the turn. Long as he's out there, you can use him to protect your dudes pretty well. Feels like that's something where you're banking on your opponent forgetting that static ability is out there, which I'm not going to bank on anybody forgetting anything. Minions Return, an aura enchantment with Great Art by Billy Christian. Flash, enchant creature. When an enchanted creature dies, return it. Oh yeah, we are getting some graveyard return and some death return stuff going here. Death return is not an actual term in this game. I just invented it. Tectonic Giant is the rare. Whenever Tectonic Giant attacks or becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, Tectonic Giant deals 3 damage to each opponent, so nobody's going to try burning the Tectonic Giant. It's another elemental. Or exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose 1 until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. That's powerful. That's a good red creature. It's good stuff. All right, and an island and another human soldier. And we proceed to pack 4. Sorry for the coughing there. All right. Starlit Mantle. I know I've been saying this a lot, but I mean, look at the Starlit Mantle. It's throwing balls of fire. I want you to think about if you had to live, or the Starlit Mantle maybe protecting you. Oh, no. That's right. It's not throwing anything. Starlit Mantle is a gentle blue card. It's defending itself against the balls of fire. It's an enchantment. Enchanted creature you control. When Starlit Mantle enters the battlefield, enchanted creature gains hexproof until the end of the turn, and then it buffs for 1/1. That's not bad, although we haven't seen a whole lot of good blue draws yet in these 6. Oread of Mountains Blaze. Oread of Mountains Blaze. You know what I mean? It's an enchantment creature, a 1/3 for 2. That's nice. As I get better at this, I start looking harder at the second number than the first one. Static of discard and draw a card. That depends for me on how many of those cards I can get back. Karametra's Blessing. Some elk action left over from the last set. Target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of the turn. If it's an enchanted creature or enchantment creature, it also gets hexproof and indestructible. That is a combat trick that is probably going to, the first time I play it, it's going to kill one of your dudes. And the next time, you won't be fooled. Blight Breath, Catoblepas, Catoblepa, maybe. I'm not sure. It looks Greek. Not the creature, the word. When Blight Breath, Catoblepas enters the battlefield, target creature opponent gets -6/-6 until the end of the turn. Again, I'm always until the end of the turn. Maybe this is part of my being not a great player, but until the end of the turn always strikes me as like, well, then that's only good once. Where X is your devotion to black. Well, because it costs 4 and 2 swamps to come out, I will probably kill one of your dudes with that effect when that happens. So that's nice. But 6 is costly. Relentless Pursuit. Reveal 4. Put a creature card in your or a land into your hand and put the rest in your graveyard. That's pretty good, depending on how much escape you have and stuff. But at this point, I think it's safe to say we're going to have some. Witness of Tomorrows. Sounds totally like a prog metal song. Witness of Tomorrows. Enchantment creature, a Sphinx. I do want to build a tribal Sphinx deck at some point. It flies. It gives me a scry. It costs 5. It's a 3/4. Elysian Caryatid, which ramps my mana. That's a great card. This is a common, but add 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 of any color instead. There's a beeping sound somewhere that's going to drive me crazy. Towering Wave Mystic. Whenever it deals damage, target player puts that many cards from the top of their library into their graveyard. However, it does not fly, and it's a 2/1 for 2. So unless I can attach Wings of Hubris to it or something like that, I don't know how much damage the Merfolk Wizard is doing. But at the same time, I mean, if I buff it a little and I get to mill you, well, I want to mill you. That's what I want to do. It gives me pleasure to see all your dudes go away. Daybreak Chimera, cost X less to cast for X your devotion to white. It's a 3 and 2 whites and it flies, 3/3. Chainweb Arachnir is the uncommon here, and this is a good card. This is a real nice card. It costs 1 forest to get out. It's a 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, deals damage equal to its power to target creature with flying that its opponent controls. It escapes for 5. I mean, if I really wanted to, again, thinking of Wings of Hubris, I could make one of your guys fly and then play this to kill him, which would be hilarious. Again, this is why you are going to beat me when we play Magic the Gathering, because I'm going to have things like that I really want to do. It escapes for 5, and when it escapes, then it is a 4/5, and then when it deals that damage when it enters the battlefield, it does not need to worry about the strength of your creature. So this is it's a nice card when it starts, and when it escapes, it's super nice. You want to exile that guy as soon as you can. Reverend Hoplite, although I want to call him Reverend Hoplite, a human soldier with a sword raised high above his head. When Reverend Hoplite enters the battlefield, create a number of 1/1 human soldier creatures tokens equal to your devotion to white. That'll get a number of little guys out there. If I have anything going on that gives me a benefit for creatures dying, that would be cool. But I don't know how much of that I have right now. I love this card so much. I played it yesterday at lunch. Sweet Oblivion. Mill 4, buddy. Just take them from the top of your deck and put them in your graveyard. And it escapes. Exile 4 other cards from your graveyard to do it. But I probably, before you get rid of this guy, I have milled you for 12 cards. I like it. Let's see here. Ashiok's Erasure is the rare. I remember when they announced this one, I was like, oh, I like the look of this. It's got flash, so I'll cast it on your turn. When it enters the battlefield, exile target spell. Your opponents can't cast spells with the same name as the exiled card. Less of a problem in draft than in standard or whatever. But when Ashiok's Erasure leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. I don't love that. But yeah, it does some stuff. And then I have a foil, Anax hardened in the Forge, a legendary enchantment creature, a demigod. Oh, that's nice. Power is equal to your devotion to red. I mean, I'm not that devoted to red, I have to be honest. Let's see. Devotion to red, if you're watching this and you don't actually play Magic, means how many permanents do you have on the battlefield that have red, which is mountains, where they have red in their casting costs, and you count those up, and that's your devotion. So if I have 4 permanents with red out there, then he would be a 4/3, and it depends. Whenever Anax, it's constant math you have to be doing, because when some of your red guys leave the battlefield, then his power becomes less. Whenever Anax or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 red Satyr creature token with this creature can't block. If the creature had power 4 or greater, create 2 of those tokens instead. But it has to be a non-token creature. It's one of those, I studied English and classics. I'm playing a game that involves a lot of math, but I'm not great at math, so I don't know if Anax is getting much play from me. Human creature soldier, though, in case I want to play him. Human creature token and another mountain. We proceed to the 5th Hound, the Hound of Destiny. I feel something big coming from this pack. And indeed, I mean, this is not big to most people, but to me, the art on the Vexing Gull is just incredibly pleasing to the eye. I love the Vexing Gull art. I find it soothing, And sure, the fisherman, he's not soothed by this at all, nor is the fish. But the gull feels great. The gull didn't have to dive into the water for the fish. The gull took the fish from the fisherman and enjoyed his day, and then ate for free. And the fisherman impotently waved his fist after the gull. What did the gull care? The gull forgot about the whole thing later, just ate a lovely fish. So I like the Vexing Gull. And I like that it has flash. If there's one thing I love, it's playing spells on your turn. And it flies. So if I wind up going blue here, not sure if I will, but I might do that. The Aspect of Manticore, I love the Aspect cards. Not as dearly as I love the Omens, but I do love them. It's also got flash, enchants a creature for +2/+0, so it's probably a combat trick, and I probably end up killing something you thought was going to hurt me. When it enters the battlefield, enchanted creature gets first strike. Oh, I totally end up killing one of your dudes with the Aspect of Manticore, and I buff a dude. So there's that. Sunmane Pegasus, it flies for 2/3. Gains vigilance and lifelink till the end of turn for 1 and a white as a static ability. That's not bad, costs 4. Another Nyxborn Seaguard. The Nyxborn Colossus. That's a big fella. That's a big dude. A giant. Well, in fact, he's a giant. I want to play that with the one that destroys all non-giant creatures from I know you all are sitting here yelling at trying to remember Throne of Eldraine. But that card that destroys all non-giant creatures, oh man, that'd be a good standard deck right now, because that's a white card. So yeah, that would be pretty cool. It's a 6/7 for 6. 3 greens. You have to be devoted to green for this. But that's a big friend. Unknown Shores, add any color or fix your mana for 2. Omen of the Forge, an enchantment. 2nd Omen. When it enters the battlefield, 2 damage to any target, has flash, gives me a scry as a static ability, but that's all it does. It does not escape. Altar the Pantheon, increase your devotion by 1, or add mana and possibly gain life if you control a god, a demigod, or a legendary enchantment. Haven't seen a lot of artifacts in these packs. When Nylea's Huntmaster enters the battlefield, that's who we're talking about here, Nylea's Huntmaster. Target creature you control gets +X/+0 until the end of the turn, where X is your devotion to green. It costs 4 to get out, so probably one of my guys gets pretty scary once when that happens, and then no escape. That was a song by Cabaret Voltaire, by the way, No Escape. Impending Doom. There's a giant knife on here. I gotta say, I favor cards with giant knives. So that gets an automatic one for me there. Impending Doom. Enchant creature for +3/+3 and attacks each combat if able. Jeez. When an enchanted creature dies, Impending Doom deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. I don't love that, because there's nothing here that's going to pay me for losing life. So, Agonizing Remorse. Again, a card I'm likely to play because I like its name. Target opponent reveals their hand. Oh, and I love this. I love doing that. Choose a non-land card from their hand or from their graveyard and exile it. I do lose 1 life, and again, there's not a lot here that's paying me for losing life. I can do that in standard, but in draft probably not. Commanding Presence, more very cool art. I mean, really, I love that a lot. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has first strike, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. That's pretty powerful enchantment there. I'm talking so much I'm losing sight of what my actual spread is going to be. So the deck, I warn you, when I get around a building, it will probably be catastrophic. Well, this is kind of a little game changing on that. Heliod Suncrowned, a very good rare. It's indestructible. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, Heliod isn't a creature, although indestructible does not mean he cannot be exiled. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control, and his static ability is giving other creatures lifelink. That's a big, there's a lot going on there. Foil Drag to the Underworld. Fantastic. It depicts, in case you can't see it, depicts a person being dragged to the underworld. Costs X less to cast, where X is your devotion to black, and it's 2 of any and 2 swamps. So probably by the time you play this, probably it costs 2, and it destroys a creature. So that's a pretty cheap. It's a pretty cheap creature removal there, and removal is something we want. Spider token and swamp, and we move on to our final hound. A big thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for these cards, and to you all for hanging around for 31 minutes and 48 seconds as of right now, only to find the Riptide Turtle waiting for you. I have sort of been converted by dealing with this guy. Normally, if I see a 2 mana with Defender, I think, well, there's no high alert in this set. Nothing I can do about that. But 05 means that anything you have that doesn't fly is probably going to get blocked by the Riptide Turtle. And so I like Riptide Turtle a lot, actually, because I've had to deal with the Riptide Turtle. Stampede Rider, a 2/3 for 3. At the beginning of combat, it's got trample. At the beginning of combat, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. But that's every combat, so not bad. Becomes a 3/4. Nyxborn Courser, 2/4 for 1 and 2 whites. There's another Nylea's Forerunner. We've discussed the Forerunner before. The Lampet of Death's Vigil, a 1/3 enchantment creature for 2. Always looking for value. With the static ability of sacrifice a creature to cost you life and to give me life. Again, that's the sort of, I like Sir Conrad, I like the Footlight Fiend, I like Revenge of Ravens. I like things that cost you life and cost me very little. Now, I have to sack a creature there, but obviously I'm probably going to sack something that escapes. So I like that a lot. If only the Moss Viper could escape. Dreadful Apathy, the best card name. It is the best card name. Dreadful Apathy. I want whoever designed that to know that I salute you. There should be a bunch of Dreadful cards, a suite of Dreadful, or a suite of Apathies. Dreadful Apathy, Languid Apathy. Let's see, Dreadful Apathy, Languid Apathy. I don't know. Not Conflicted Apathy. That doesn't sound good. Hesitant Apathy. I want something like that. I want Uncertain Apathy. That's good. It's terrible. I like it. Unbidden Apathy. Man, please put me in touch with the Apathy suite, and I will get it done. And it won't just be a suite of 4. It'll be like Apathies. There'll be Apathy enchantments and also Apathy instants. Like temporary Apathies. As long as the Apathy sort of suffuses the set, so that no matter what's done, you experience some apathy about the whole matter. I also do like these. I like an enchantment that says enchanted creature can't attack or block. It punishes you for bringing out creatures that have no static abilities, and also, its static ability is exile enchanted creature. I like that card a lot, actually. I do have a number of good white cards. We'll see what happens when when momentarily here I have to figure out how to set up the camera over my playmat and show you how I'm going to put this deck together and get it done without staying here for another 2 or 3 hours. Cetizen Skirmisher. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield or you control, it gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn. That's pretty good. Then it becomes a 3/2 for 2. Bigger if I can pump it. Erois' Blessing enchants a creature I control. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to target creature or a planeswalker that opponent controls. So that's good. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. That's pretty nice. It's not bad. Another Ferric's Libation that makes you sacrifice a creature or an enchantment. As I have said, that's what I want to be doing. The Witness of Tomorrows. We discussed that Witness before. It continues to bear witness. Furious Rise. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, exile the top card of your library. You can play it until you exile another card with Furious Rise. Pretty cool. I don't know if I know Fires of Invention was so successful, but things like that I'm always worried about not being able to satisfy everything. I think it's for better players than me. Threnody Singer, that's a great card name. That's an absolutely fantastic card name. It is a siren, it has flash, it flies. It's a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, it takes your attack power. Some target creature gets -X/-0, where X is my devotion to blue. Pretty nice. Not immensely powerful, but I do like playing a flyer with flash. And I probably, if I have enough blue out when that happens, I probably wind up blocking with this and killing one of your dudes, which of course that's the point, is to kill. Well, no, the point is to reduce your life total, but it also helps to kill your dudes. Siona, Captain of the Pylias, is an uncommon. Human Soldier, legendary creature, which enters the battlefield. I look at the top 7 cards of it's crazy. 7 cards in my library. I can reveal an aura card from among them and put it into my hand. Put the rest in the bottom of my library in a random order. Whenever an aura you control becomes attached to creature control, create a creature token that comes out for 3 and is a 2/2. That's actually been very few. Is it the first multicolored card in this whole draw? That's pretty wild. Thassa's Intervention is our final rare. 2 blues, and then however much else I want to pay to look at the top X cards of my library, put up to 2 of them in my hand and the rest of them on my library, or I can counter a target spell unless you pay X. It's not bad. I don't really see it functioning in this deck. Okay, let's see. You know what? I'm going to split this. We don't want to sit here while I try and figure out how I'm going to focus on the playmat. So this will conclude the draw side of things. The next video will involve the deck building and we'll be looking at the playmat. I will see you here momentarily.